In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Dear audience, I am going to tell you how you can carry out the application of one of the literary theories that we have read. So, I will tell you how you can apply new criticism on one of the poems written by John Donne, that is, Death Be Not Proud. Let me read the poem first. Death, be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful, for thou art not so. For those whom thou thinkest thou dost overthrow. Die not, poor death, nor yet canst thou kill me from rest and sleep, which but thy pictures be. My pleasure then from thee much more must flow, and sooner our best men will thee do go. Rest of their bones and souls delivery. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men, and does with poison, war, and sickness dwell. And poppy and charms can make us sleep as well. And better than thy stroke, why swellest thou then? One short sleep past, we walk eternally, and death shall be no more, death, thou shalt die. Dear audience, we have read some of the principles of new criticism. Let me remind you of those principles again. New criticism focuses on words on the page, figures of speech, literary devices, linguistic devices, symbols. New critics are interested in how the parts of a text relate to create harmony, order, tension. It has to be resolved. Paradoxes, self contradictory statements, ambivalence or ambiguity. And for the new critics, biography of the author is not important. Historical context in which the poem was written is not important. Social conditions at the time of the production of the poem is not important. Effects on the reader, affective fallacy, it is not important. They have a minimal interest in the content of the text or message or ideas. Well, we need to see that how this poem is written. We have got words on the page, and we are supposed to look at the words, and these words, they have got literary devices. They may have symbols, they may have synecdoche, metaphors and metonymies, similes. So we need to understand that how the author has produced magnificently this poem. Death be not proud, thou some have called thee, though some have called thee. The very first word of the sentence is that. So it gives me the idea that it means we are going to read something about death, something which is related to death. And look at the very first sentence again. Death be not proud. The author is talking to death. The author is giving human attributes, human qualities to death. It seems to us there is a speaker who is speaking and he is directly talking to death. So it means that the listener, death, is someone who is a human being. So death here is used as a metaphor because human attributes are given and he is calling upon death. He is addressing the death. So it means that it is apostrophe as well. And if we count these lines, there are 14 lines. And according to T.S. Eliot, whenever the authors they produce any poem or text, they should have the sense of the past. So the sense of the past we need to understand here because my previous knowledge is telling me that 14 lines is a sonnet. So in sonnets, usually we come across Petrarchan style or Shakespearean style of sonnets. And of course, we know the author, okay, that be not proud. He is making use of Shakespearean as well as Petrarchan style in his poem. And we have got thee, so, through, me. So thee is A, so and through is BB, and me is A. So again there is A, BB, A. So this is the rhyme scheme. B, flow, go, and delivery. So B and delivery again AA, and flow and go BB. So it means that if we look at this poem, okay, throughout the poem, it has got A, B, B, A, and then there is a couplet. One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more, that thou shalt die. BB. Eternally, Lee and die. So it is AA. So we have got, octave and sestet. In octave, first 8 lines, the problem is presented, and in the last 6 lines, the problem is resolved, usually in the sonnet. So we will have to see, assonance and consonants as well, that what kind of, sounds the author is making use of continuously in one sentence or one verse, or what kind of, vowel sounds he is continuously making use of in one verse. And metaphor, I have seen it is in the very first line, then it is there in line number 9, and then it is there in the last line. So overall, when we read this poem, we see that the author is continuously talking about death, and the author feels that death is powerless. Death has got no strength, because it is not going to kill us. Rather, it is going to give us another kind of sleep that usually poppy or charm can also give us. And we go to bed and we sleep for a certain period of time. So why should we be afraid of death? Death cannot kill me. Rather, it is going to deliver our soul from our body. And look at the word that the author has made use of, that is delivery. And usually, the word delivery is used when the child is born. So when a woman gives birth to a child, everybody says, okay, she has delivered a baby. So it means that that is the birth of a child. So delivery, it means that that will be the delivery of a soul, and soul's delivery. So soul is coming out of the prison of the body, and it is going to get new life. So why should we be afraid of death? So he is saying, death be not proud, though some have called thee, some of the people have called thee mighty, powerful, and dreadful, fearful, but you are not so. So the poet is not afraid of death. Why should we be afraid of death? We being Muslims, he being a Christian, we believe in God, we know that a time comes when a person is supposed to leave this world. So why should we be afraid? We are going to see our God, our Creator. So we should be happy, because you are going to give us a kind of sleep. For those whom thou kill, think thou does overthrow, die not. When you overthrow certain people, they do not die. Poor death, nor yet can thou kill me. You are unable to kill the other people, and same is the case, you cannot kill me. You cannot kill the author. So the author is continuously using apostrophe. He is addressing death. He is making use of death as a metaphor in the very first line, and time and again, okay, he is using the metaphor. Much pleasure then from thee, much more must flow, and soonest our best men will thee do go. And of course, the best of the men in the world, they are not afraid of you, because they believe in one God. They believe in the book which is given to us by God. So why should we be afraid of you? If the people, they follow the path which is given in the book, and they are following that path, and they are fulfilling their, deeds in the world, so they are not afraid of you. You cannot kill them. You cannot give them any harm. Rest of their bones and souls delivery. But what you can do is that you can give rest to these bones. And in this way, our soul will be delivered. It will be free from the body and it will get its birth. So we should not be afraid of death. Thy are slave to fate. Rather, you are slave to fate. And not only fate, but also chance, kings, and desperate men, those who are interested in killing the innocent people of the world. So you are a slave to them. You have not your own will. You cannot give us any harm unless you get a message from someone to do it. So, what we see here is that we find personification, which means that we are giving human attributes to death. John Donne has personified death throughout the poem, stating it should not be proud. Being proud is a human quality. Even people, they are proud, though they should not be proud, but some of the people, they are proud because of their wealth or because of their achievement. But that, why are you so proud? You should not be proud at all. Thou art slave to fate. So again here, metaphor is used. And it is said that you are a slave to fate, chance, kings, or desperate men. And in the last line, we find another extended metaphor. Then we come across alliteration. For example, th sound is repeated and better than thy stroke. So this is how stylistic effect is created by the author, that is John Donne. Why swellest thou then? Why are you swelling? Why are you feeling so proud? What have you got? You can only give us sleep and nothing else. And when once we are asleep, our soul is delivered and it reaches somewhere else and it starts a new journey. So why should you be so proud? And why should we be so afraid of you? And then ma sound, it is also repeated. Much pleasure then from thee, much more must flow. Much more must flow. So the author is making use of, assonance, alliteration. Metonymy is another type of metaphor in which an object is used to describe something closely related to it. So in this poem, poppy and charm are also used to produce gentle sleep or death. So that is metonymy, poppy or charm. Thou art slave to fate, chance, kings, and desperate men. So sound is repeated here. So assonance, which is in bet, which is in set, it is repeated here. And then we also come across some of the ironical, statements in the poem. Irony means that something is different. It is the opposite of whatever is stated, that thou shalt die. So of course it is ironical, but a time will come what we believe in on the day of judgment, that will also taste death. So dear audience, look at the words on the page and overall, then once you have gone through the words, you have analyzed the metaphors, you have found out the metonymies, the symbols, try to find out the harmony in the text and see that how the message is conveyed. So overall message is the powerlessness of death. Thank you very much.